And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man DL saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling out there? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Um, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm excited. Why are you excited, Uncle Saint? Well, this is the last week of school. This is the last week of school. Don DeMarco on that for sure. For sure. So me and my daughter both looking forward to summer, right? Which is gonna be nothing but hard work and networking and getting stuff back on track for me. Yes, I said back on track. Every now and then, plans don't go the way you want them to go. And when things get rough, bro. When things get tough, the tough get going, right? So gotta buckle down, triple down, and change some objectives in order to accomplish the mission. And that's what we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be a very, 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 very short summer for me. I'm gonna call it short because I'm gonna be working so hard. It's gonna go by like that. It's gonna go by like that. So we got Sister Jody in the building. What's good, sis? Good to see you. Good to see you. I am the single one on a spot live in the building. What's good? What's good? Good to see you, sis. So today we're gonna be talking about family court. You guys know where I stand on family court. There was this guy on Fresh&Fit, Steve Mayeda. I can't think of his name right now, but it's on the thumbnail. And he's one of those guys who was an advocate for men to prepare themselves for the family court system. It's crazy out here, guys. I'm not saying that, it's men beware and all this other kind of, I ain't about the negative. I'm just here to have a conversation that needs to be had. All men, especially invisible men, especially those bottom 80 guys who are doing the work. If your goal is to get out here and be seen by women so you can meet women and womanize, you need to be prepared for what may come after that, which is the family court system. Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. I am blurry. I see that, brother. Brother Base Oracle in the building, man. Shout out to brother Base Oracle. He blurry. I am, man. It's definitely on my end. My strength is down to like 1. So it'll get better. Just hang in there. Once the signal strength gets a little bit better, man. It's the time of day, bro. It's the time of day. I see it, y'all. I'm sorry I'm blurry. Just hang in there with me. It is what it is. Brother Templar in the building. What's good, fam? Good day, boys and girls. Yes, y'all. So we're gonna talk about this. Yeah, Templar, I have video quality issues right now, man, and it is because of my signal strength. It says the connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into the router or moving closer to your thing. There it is. It's starting to go up. It's going to slowly, as we continue, get a little bit better. Please bear with me. Sorry about that, guys. You know what I mean? That AOL Express. Hey, man, bro. All right, here we go. There's something about, I got the highest speed and the biggest package that there's available and all that kind of stuff. It's just this time of day, it's jacked up, y'all. Y'all know what it is. It's a conspiracy. You don't own the live feed on one of my other screens, and it just dropped down again. So just hang there with me. And I'm aware. You know, I mean, he's like, it's the first day you look good, bro. Look, man. And it must be the blur. All right, man, you got jokes, Marine. All right, it is what it is, but we're gonna get into this. And now the audio breaking up. I'm telling y'all, it is a conspiracy, man. They don't want the word to get out. They don't want the word to get out. And I'm looking at the strength is going up and down. But we just gonna fight through it, y'all. We gonna fight through it. Hanging there with me. And basically saying I might want to reset the whole thing. I really, man, I hope I don't have to go all the way downstairs to reset the modem and everything. And Timberly's like, all women secretly want spankings though. Ask Jody and them. I don't know, man. And the audio is better. So it's gonna jump in and out. It's gonna be a little bit of a little struggle there. We're gonna be on the struggle bus just for a little bit, y'all. But we're gonna power through this like we always do. Like it is what it is. But we're definitely going to be talking about the family court system. Like this guy who was on Fresh and Fit. Again, this is one of the early shows on Fresh and Fit. They still are able every now and then to get some good conversations going. This is one of them. And this guy is talking about the family court system. And I do believe that every guy, especially every man in America, needs to be familiar with the family court system. Is one of the things that it is a very good chance you're going to have to experience at some stage of the game, and you need to be prepared for it. You need to be prepared. So this is what they were talking about, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we're goodish now. Yeah, we're kind of coming around. You need to be prepared for it as men in America. It's just one of those things. I'm not going to sit here and play the victim card and talk about how unfair it is to men, which that argument is valid. There's going to be plenty of time to have those conversations. That's not why I'm here. I'm simply here to say, hey, prepare yourself. If you out here messing around, if you are getting at Foxy Brown, you're womanizing, you're doing your thing, there's a really good chance that your efforts might get you in a situation where someone's having a baby. All right. That might happen. And if that's the case, you need to be prepared to deal with the family law system. Now, depending on who you're interacting with, both parents determine how rough the system can be or that process is. I know this. There's a lot of us that know this from personal experience. It depends a lot on the other parent, male and female. There's dudes out here to make it a rough go in the family court system, just like there are women out here to make it a rough go in the family court system. So it is what it is. Look at Templar. He'd rather have the Minecraft video quality. y'all wilding. And shout out to you, Templar. I don't know if I gave you the shout out, man. Shout out to you. So this conversation definitely needs to be had. Whether you are a father or a son or a nephew or whatever, you need to have this conversation. Women, it's important for you guys to pay attention as well. But just keeping it 100. The family court system, the way the laws are interpreted today, they do seem to benefit women a lot of the times. A lot of times they do. Now, when it comes to the money side, when it comes to when we go in the family court system and you start getting to the money side of it, the money side doesn't necessarily care about gender. But when you're in family court system and it's just about, hey, the child is under 1 year old, that child is going to be with mom. That mom is going to get primary custody. Dad, you're only going to get visitation, which I think is a horrible term. They're going to let you visit your kid, right? You're going to get visitation. Child support is based on how much time you spend with your child and how much money you make and stuff like that. We're going to touch on child support and all that, but the whole system, your first encounter with the court dictates how it's going to go. And that's what this guy was talking about. And I thought he made an excellent point. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to talk about this. I watched this yesterday. I didn't watch it live. I watched it on replay. So we're going to watch this and listen to what this brother has to say. I think this guy was on Fresh and Fit, a smaller YouTube channel. I guess he's been in the manosphere for a long time and knows folks. I believe he was really nervous and really excited to be on this platform, right? It's a lot of eyeballs on this platform. It's a lot of people who look at it. It's kind of like getting invited to do, one of the networks, or getting, invited to do Vice or something like that, right? These bigger platforms. So I think he was kind of taken aback by that and the eyes on him. And I hope they have him back. I hope that they bring him back at some point and they can kind of, have another conversation where he can just stay focused. Because I went to the guy's YouTube channel. And his YouTube channel is pretty good. So we're going to look at this video here, and then we're going to jump over to his YouTube channel, watch a couple short videos he has over there. and, begin this conversation. But everyone, men and women alike, y'all need to be ready for the family court system in America. It's a war zone. Point blank, period. It's a war zone. It's not even modern warfare, bro. It's World War I trenches. It's nastiness, bro. It could be very, very, very bad. It can be. And it depends on the people who are involved. So let's check out this video. Let's check out. We're not going to watch the whole thing. This whole interview was 1 hour and 23 minutes. Of course, we're not going to watch that. We're going to watch a little bit of it, and then we're going to jump over and watch some of his videos on his YouTube channel. So let's get into it.
From the very beginning, how do we avoid this in totality from the very beginning? Because things happen.
Yeah,
we're meant to being out here in the world, and we have fun. But how do you avoid this happening? Child custody, all this stuff happening.
Well, fundamentally, let's talk about this. Like, child custody, if it goes wrong, it's always going to go wrong in the very beginning. It can also go wrong in the end, but it starts out bad. And this is where men don't know anything, and they're not educated, and we get like all this different stuff from different angles. But where it screws up is somebody's first appearance with either mediation with the attorney general or in front of a judge. And nobody educates you on this, because you expect to go into court just going, man, I'm a good dad. I'm like, here's me, here's who I am.
Yeah.
You don't know how to address the judge. You don't know what motions are. You don't know any of this stuff. And so you just go in having faith in like the American justice system.
Oh boy.
Which is when like it goes from being a good dad and your friends and family going like, man, you just tell them the truth and all this sort of stuff. And you basically get your ass handed to you. And the tragedy is so bad because, what you guys are talking about, like man, up your game, like be powerful, all this sort of stuff. When you're a guy that all your life did like the best man by like American standards or Western world standards, all this sort of stuff. You care about your kids, you give everything for it. You sacrifice like your work, your life, your health, all this stuff for your kids, for your family, and your soon to be ex or your baby mama, your wife, depends if you're divorced or in custody, whatever, different things. But you do everything for that. The best man with the best heart, who cares for everything that we're supposed to care about in our culture, like good families, is going to fight for that. And he gets fucked.
Yeah.
And he ain't lying, guys. He's not lying. If you guys are watching this live, you guys are watching this on Team Replay. The family court system is a juggernaut, bro. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry with a B. Billion-dollar industry, bro. It is a lot of money. They don't care. You can go in most states. I know you can do this in California. I think you can do this in Florida. I know you can do this in Ohio. At least you could back when I was home. You can walk in and just watch the proceedings. And he talks about this, like going in and actually watching these judges and how they move or whatever, right? You can go in there and you can see that these people don't care. It's just a job to them, bro. It's a widget factory and you are the widget. They don't care. Like I can remember sitting in court, family court in California, in the Van Nuys court, and sit there and watch in a day, waiting for my case to be called, sitting there and watch, 10, 12 cases. Just sitting there. You're the last case of the day. That judge, you think that judge is thinking about your case, or you think that judge is trying to figure out which route they're going to take home and what time they got to go get their kids, and they got dinner is so and so and so and so and so, or maybe they got some award ceremony coming up. Do you think they're focused on your case? Like y'all, number 12, number 15 of the day. You think they care? They don't. All they want, they're just looking at paperwork. You think they're listening to you? When their filings are given, like you get served and you gotta, you got the respondent, you got the petitioner, and everything you need to say in the court is said in those documents. So allegedly the judge has read all this before coming before you, right? Which we know ain't the case. 12 to 15 cases per day, 5 days a week. You think they're reading all of those filings? Pages and pages and pages. When I say it's hundreds, sometimes thousands of pages, depending on how many filings are made and all these statements are made and all this other kind of stuff. Do you think the judge is reading every single one? Nah. They're not doing that at all. And there is very limited time that you actually get to talk in the court. So it's one of the many reasons why they need to revamp how it's done. You shouldn't be no judge. It should be a case manager. It shouldn't be no judge. Not like that. Everyone shouldn't go before a judge. It should be case managers. It should be arbitrators, and then a judge for that, for maybe the 1 to 3% of cases where they just got complete knuckleheads and you got to go before a judge. But the stuff that goes on in the family court system is horrific, and it's not a real court. We talk about kangaroo court. It's the most kangaroo court thing you're ever going to see. And guess what? It's hanging in the balance. The very thing you hold most dear, your children, are hanging in the balance. Your child or your children. And you got some person who's sitting on the bench, again, sitting in a factory making widgets, and you're one of the widgets. Do you really think they care? This is something that Americans need to understand. Brother Templar, I mean, you got a point there. Rule number 1, don't punk anything that you are not prepared to raise a baby with. Bro, it's a lot of facts there, brother. It's a lot of facts there. Now, is it realistic? Is somebody coming with that Foxy Brown, man, and it's nice and it's moist and it's squirty, and she talking about you can have this, bro? It's just the way humans are designed. I'm sorry, bro. If you can execute rule number 1 and never forget rule number 1, then Brother Templar is right. If you can follow Brother Templar's rule number 1, you're gonna be fine. Don't smash anybody you ain't prepared to raise a baby with. That is a fact. That is a fact. Now, it's just, how realistic is it? That's the thing. Brother Pitney in the building. Good, Brother Pitney, keep brother knowledge. And he's right. If you take human life seriously, that trumps your desires all day long. Brother Templar, I am not disagreeing with you, brother. I am not. But one of the things you got to realize too, here in America, for men, once your sperm leaves your body, bro, and you fertilize the egg that's in the woman's body, that's it. You're along for the ride. You have no say in what's going on moving forward. You just don't. You are along for the ride. If she wants to have a child, you're going to be a dad. If she doesn't want to have a child, you're not going to be a dad. That's what it boils down to. Now, the family court system, what we're talking about now, that's going to determine how involved you are with your child. And of course, I think we need to change a bunch of the laws. We need to change a bunch of the laws with respect to how this plays out in the system. But yeah, man, the system itself, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry, bro, to the tune of $50+ billion a year in this country. No one's in a hurry to change this, man. Everyone is making money that's involved with the system. And I'm going to say this, and we're going to continue the video. Everyone involved in that court proceeding, everyone is inside the family court system. I'm talking about from the judges to the bailiffs to the court reporters to everyone involved, the people there helping out the judge's staff and all that. Everyone in there who goes in there 8 hours a day in and day out, and watch what's coming through there. They understand how unfair it is. They understand it's messed up. They get it. Like, this thing is jacked. They get it. They know it's bad. They see people get crushed. They see men and women who have their children removed from them. They see people who are getting financially wrecked. They see it and they know it's wrong. But guess what? That's their job. Multi-billion-dollar industry. Oh, well, that widget just got wrecked. But hey, there's a line of widgets out the door. Businesses are booming. We got more and more people coming in here, and we're just going to continue doing what we're doing to the tune of $5,000 to $10,000 a pop. If you can go through the family court system and you as the one parent only spends $10,000, you did really good. You did really, really well. Let's continue.
And women, man, women are beautiful. Women, though, when they get into that mode, turn super territorial. Men do too. And they'll pull all the stops. And once they realize they have some sort of advantage, and again, you're walking into a court system which is not going to favor men immediately, but it doesn't have to go that way. You get hit hard, and you're alone. You don't want to talk about it. There's all this stuff about men's mental health, and let's do this and that. Let's be strong and powerful. But when you are devastated because you can't see your kids and you're used to, maybe you worked the whole time, and the mother tucked them in at night and made food for them, but you were still around, and all of a sudden you have no rights. All of a sudden you have nothing. Man, you start contemplating in some normal ways, things like suicide, things like vengeance, harming yourself, harming others, disappearing. And you take the high road as a man and you try and be strong. You're ashamed of how weak you feel. You beg back for the relationship, all the simp stuff that we hear about. But those are traits of a strong man. Put
I need y'all to really understand what he just said there. Everything he said right there is 100% correct. As a guy, you walk in there, you have no idea what you're walking into, none whatsoever. You go in there, you're thinking, I'm a decent man. I want to take care of my child or children. I've been in my child or children's lives. I wish this relationship was working, but she wanted to leave. Either she filed for the divorce or she's the petitioner. She petitioned to be here. I've been paying. I've been trying to get time with my child. Right. This person over here is using the children as leverage. So let's go into the court because I haven't done anything wrong. Let's go in here. I don't have a whole bunch of money, so I can't afford an attorney. I'm just gonna go in here. They say I can represent myself. Look, they got self-help centers. I'm just gonna go in here and everything is gonna be fine because our country is all about justice and fairness, right? Wrong. Wrong. You're gonna get in there, you're gonna get mauled. You're gonna get mauled. And then when you come out of there, that's when the dark thoughts come. When you come out of there, when you realize you're on a defensive, when you realize I am being attacked, you're going to want to do something about it. Now, depending on who the guy is and his background, that determines how he's going to handle that situation. But like I say, when the dark thoughts come, and they will come, what do? When you're sitting there, you're just being beat up and you have no idea how this world works. You have no idea how this system works. You went in there the first time and just, oh my God, you got beat down like them B-17s that flew into Pearl Harbor December 7, 1941. They just flew right into an attack, a full-blown attack. No bullets, no gas. They tired. What do? You're just getting mauled. What do? I'm telling you, those dark thoughts, they come. They come. And again, it depends on the guy, depends on his background, how he's going to handle that. Like, this is something men need to be prepared for. This is probably one of, if not the most important aspects of womanizing in America. How is it that men get married? They don't know anything about this. No one's talked to them at all about this. No one. How is it that we get, guys walk in there and they just get completely mauled and then you come out and now you question everything. You question the entire system. What are we doing? Why are they coming at me like this? What did I do wrong? How come I can't spend time with my children? Why is it this person sitting on the bench is telling me that I can't go see my own son or daughter? What? This person over here is lying and saying I'm doing things, and the person sitting on the bench is writing out orders based on a lie. This is the system. This system is bad. Now, results vary, of course. But what men need to understand is once you get served papers and you going into the child support system, you must go in there with some help. You must go in there with some knowledge. You need to understand what you're about to face. You want to have a competent attorney sitting there next to you. Yes, it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you at least $300 an hour, anywhere between $300 and $800, maybe $1,200, $1,500 an hour, depending on who you go to get. But I'm here to tell you that money is well spent.
In a horrible situation where he's forced and humiliated to stay weak. And it's the toughest thing. So when guys come to me, so basically what I do is I work with guys through their whole legal case, and we help with the mental side, the legal side. We have a whole group. It's like 24/7 support system. And guys are like, man, why you know, she's a bitch. She did this, da 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 da. But then they're like, but I'll do anything. I'll do anything to get her back because it's better for my kids. I'll do whatever it is. I don't give a fuck. And you sit there and you see this guy going down a road that statistically by far is not going to work and is going to fuck him worse. But he has some of the most noble traits of a guy. And so we have this crazy conflict from the advice he gets from like the man side of things. The PC feminist culture is just fucked with it because like every man is just dangerous and violent, and if he can't see his kids, it's not as bad as a mom who can't see her kids. It's this horrible thing. So man, how do we avoid it? On what levels? I mean, on Owen's level, what he's talking about is he goes, man, get people to wear condoms. And one thing I will say, if you're a man and you're with women, okay, I have 4 kids. One was through a relationship that was committed and all that sort of stuff. And the other kids were, or 2 kids from a committed relationship. The other 2 kids were from kind of like riff-raffing around and all that sort of stuff. If you're a man and you're sexually active and you have the ability to do that, I think you're better off in our world. There's a whole bunch of people that talk about the different moral values and whatnot, but people have different roads and all this sort of stuff. But if you're a man and you're good with women, this is going to happen. This is going to happen in some way. So Owen was like, hammer down on the condoms, help men get saved in this way. But the fact of the matter is, and you should, you know, be safe, all that sort of stuff, but it doesn't happen. And a lot of guys don't use condoms. Women lie about birth control. Women might make a mistake about birth control, all this sort of stuff. And pregnancies happen, man. In the moment.
That part right there, man, needs to be emphasized over and over and over again. You could tell people till they blue in the face, man, you know, birth control, condoms, you know, IUDs, whatever. You get blue in the face. But when you're sitting there with this beautiful woman and she wants you and you want her and you only had 1 condom and y'all already used it, and she's telling you, well, you know, I really like you and I can see myself with you and I trust you, and you're like, yeah, I trust you too. And she tells you, well, I'm on birth control, so it's fine. Just pull out or whatever. All right. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. Why? Because that's how we were designed, bro. That's how we were built to reproduce. You're going to do it. And if you do, it goes back to what Brother Templar was saying. Rule number 1. Don't do it with somebody you ain't prepared to raise a kid with. And what Brother Templar is saying right now, I agree with 100%. When women exercise the option to terminate a pregnancy, exactly what he says he is. That's what it is. It's legalized deletion. I don't think YouTube likes that word, the M word, but that's what it is. And it is what it is. It's the law of the land. It is what it is. But for people to sit back and say, well, I'm just going to wear a condom 100% of the time, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, you're not. I'm here to tell you, you're not going to. You're not going to. It just, that drive to reproduce is so strong. I haven't met anybody who can say, nah, I ain't going to do that. Over and over again, you putting yourself in a situation to be with these women. You're going out, you're talking, you got your game, you're doing this, you're doing that. She's with it, she's digging you. Y'all playing around, having a good time. It's on, bro. It's on. Just the tip. Just put the tip in. Well, just a little bit. We'll just do a little bit. All right, that's enough. Oh, that felt so good. Let's do it one more time. Those who know. There's a lot of guys out there, invisible guys who've never been in that situation. So to them, yeah, on paper, it sounds great. I'll just always wear a condom, or I'll just say, no, I just won't do it. Okay. Put you in a room with the most beautiful woman you ever seen in your life, and she about it. And you fresh out of condoms. You think you're going to get up and walk out that room? If you can, hey, shout out to you. You know, I am a single one. Like this. I don't know. It seems easy to me. Maybe easy for you, sis. But is it easy for that dude that's sitting right there? Right? If you say, okay, fine, women are the gatekeepers of the fun, of the sex. Women can say no and it's over. Done. If a guy crosses that line, you know, he's getting locked up or worse. But for dudes, nah, it's really, really difficult. Or there's some guy, I've been in situations where I'm like, you know what, I ain't doing this. Yes, I have. I have been in situations like that. And sometimes it really helped me out. As a matter of fact, As a matter of fact, I got a story for y'all.
Everybody sit down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
This is when I was in LA. Air traffic controller. Just started doing comedy. So I'm going from comedy spot to comedy spot. I was at the Comedy Store all the time, and every day, Sunday through basically Sunday through Thursday. Really, I ain't gonna lie to you, every day, 7 days a week, every day. I used to park on Sunset Boulevard, maybe a half a mile or so before Crescent Heights. Back then, you could park there. Now you can't park there. They put up so many signs. But back then, you could park there. Used to be a KFC. There's a park by the KFC. And I would walk all the way down to the Comedy Store every single day. Me and Steve Simone. Steve Simone's comedian. You can look him up on the internet. Funny comedian. He's in Tampa now, if I'm not mistaken, the Tampa area. He was working at the Comedy Store, comedian. Steve and I we would see each other and make that walk every single day. Every time we see each other, we talk about it. Every single day. And on the way back to my car, I would pass the Improv. Correction, the Laugh Factory. The Laugh Factory is on Sunset as well. So the Laugh Factory is pretty much on the corner where I park my car. And I would pass the Laugh Factory. And I met some young lady at some point over the months. Meet some young lady, college kid, cute Asian chick. She's all right. We met, talking to her, we went out a couple times, got her to come to the crib one night. This is after about, 3 or 4 weeks of us, going out, having a drink here, going out, having a taco there or whatever. Get her back to the crib, right? Young girl, college age. Get her back to the crib. I'm living in Marina Del Rey at the time. And she came back to the crib, man, whatever. We messing around, whatever. We go from the living room to the bedroom. We got our clothes off. We doing all that, right? We playing around, we messing around. It's ready to do something. And I'm like, all right, we getting to the moment of truth. So I'm like, all right, let me reach over here and grab myself. The proper wrapping. We wrap it up. We reach over here. And once I did that, she froze up. She didn't want me wearing condoms. She froze up. And I wasn't going to do anything with her without one. For whatever reason, I'm like, I am not doing nothing with this girl without a condom. I'm just not. I just was not going to do it. It was just something telling me, my inside, my spidey sense, my ghetto sense was tingling. Like, nah, you got to wrap it up. You're going to mess with this one. But she refused to do anything if I was going to put on a condom. If I wasn't going to wear a condom, we could have went all the way. Fast forward 3 months, right? She stops talking to me or whatever. I stopped talking to her. Turns out that she was going around giving away, let's call it giving things away to her male suitors. Right? And all the guys that was with her didn't wear anything, and they all got a little something for it. That's what she was doing. And if you wanted to wrap it up, she wouldn't sleep with you. But if you didn't want to wrap it up, she would let you have it, bro. She let you have it all the way. You don't want to wrap it up, can't have it. But if you want to go in here raw,
Get some. Get some.
And them boys got some. Allegedly. That's how the story goes. She stopped talking to me because I was like, there's no way we're going to do something without wearing protection. I told her that. And that was it. She didn't want to see me no more. So you got to be careful out there, guys and girls, right? You got to be careful out there. Brother Penny's like, your ghetto senses knew she was trying to baby trap you. Nah, she was trying to burn me, bro. He wasn't even about the baby trap. She was trying to give me something, right? He's going to need a long needle to get rid of. She was trying to pass on a little something somebody gave her. That's what she was on. And hey, man, that's life. It's part of it. So, but for me, I was able to walk away like, man, that's cool, man. I ain't trying to deal with that. And all those guys who couldn't walk away, I don't know how many it was. It was a handful, I imagine. You know what I mean? It was more than one. I guarantee you that. A lot of guys were talking about it. Right? A lot of guys at the Improv was talking about Shorty. She worked at the Improv, and then they fired her from the Improv. They had to let her go for what she was doing. It was reckless. I don't know if law enforcement got involved. I don't know how far that went. But little Shorty was trying to give away a little something. So yeah, I tell guys all the time, man, like, I understand how tough it is, but you got to stick to the plan, especially the first few times, bro. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. You don't want no babies, and more importantly, you don't want to get burned, bro. You don't want to get burned. Let's continue.
Moment when you get that call, you're like, fuck, my life is over. And the female's all fired up, you know. So if it's a casual situation, she's like, well, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna care for me? It just switched, right? It just switched from like, yeah, baby, da 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 da, and whatever shit's going on to like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I talk to my friends and I have power. And her friends probably don't really know, but if she goes to the courts and realizes that power, it gets fucking bad and everybody catches wise. So if this happens in a casual setting and you, man, I'll share actually like a pretty brutal story, but my buddy, this is way back when, and he actually passed away, but he was a pimp. And he said, look, man, if you knock a chick up, now I'm not suggesting to do this, but this will portray the mentality. And he says, if you knock a chick up, you got 3 months. And at the time, termination and these types of things, which is a touchy subject, were more available in the US. He goes, you got 3 months to make your move and to make your play. And you have a choice in this because you're the one going to be paying child support. You're going to be the one going through the pain. You're going to be the one responsible for that child. And you have a say. So you have to make your play and you need to be hard. And he went hard, like as somebody who runs women and stuff would say. And he said, and then after that, you got another 6 months to make up with her. And I'm like, man, you can't give that advice. That's too fucked up. You know, nobody's going to be able to, nobody has the mental, like, I don't know, just harshness to pull that off. And especially when you're just.
And so what is he talking about here, right? Talking about going hard or whatever. There are guys out there to go completely dark with this sort of thing, man. He's talking about a guy who's in the, you know, he's pimping, he's in the streets. That's like a whole different kind of person. I mean, he's talking about using physical coercion. He's talking about hurting people, threatening her livelihood, threatening her friends and family. That's what they're talking about. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't even think about doing that. The guy's saying you got this small window to go out here and make her life living, you know, make her life hell, get into her head, which is what pimps do. Get into her head, mess her all up, get her to do something she doesn't necessarily want to do by all means necessary. And then once that's over and she exercises the option, then you can make up to her. And, you know, you got 6 months to make her fall in love with you or whatever. Like I said, man, pimps be on something completely different. Right? The way a pimp see the world, the way a hitter see the world, like these bad people, the way they see the world is different than the way the most folks see the world. Don't even attempt anything like that, bro. You get with a woman and y'all in a situation where, you know, she's pregnant, it's your baby, and you know it. You along for the ride, man. It's up to her. Tell her what you thinking. Tell her what you're gonna tell her. But you're along for the ride, man. Don't be trying to put your hands on nobody. Don't be trying to take it to the darkest place ever just to get her to do something. Don't do that. Don't even think about doing that. You can get yourself locked up or worse. Got somebody coming to see you. Just say, don't do that, bro. Right? Just prepare yourself for the family court system. That's it. Prepare yourself for it. Go in there with the people you need to make sure you're going to get a fair shake.
Just the guy going out and having fun. And the thing is that mentality for a woman, she physiologically goes through a change. I mean, man, it's beautiful. It's an amazing thing. But it is, I want security, I want safety, and I'm going to fight for my life for this. Like, it's in my body, and I'm going to make it work. And you as a guy are like, oh, shit, you know, this throws everything off. Like, am I going to be single? Am I going to be married? What am I going to do? And then fatherhood stuff kicks in. It gets all crazy. And then even afterwards, if there's a miscarriage or something like that, there'll be crazy tension a guy can't relate with. And all sorts of, like, if you fuck that up as a guy, if you, well, I mean, depends on what you call fucking up, but if you piss her off, like, man, reputations, like everything you read about, like when people are talking about like borderline women or narcissistic personality disorder, like whether they had it or not, that shit becomes much more probable, and they'll go after your reputation. And it's like,
we know.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Or just get a vasectomy.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. Like, kids aren't bad. Like, fatherhood is an amazing thing, and motherhood is an amazing thing.
Shelter Rolo.
But how that gets manipulated in our culture and how it gets exploited and what women become and even men become when they don't know what to do or they take advantage or manipulate is one of the most fucked up things. And it causes generational pain and trauma. It fucks up the kids. It causes, like, there's something called parental alienation, which is one of the most devastating things, like the results of alienating one parent from the other. Like, you're a bad dad or you're a bad mom and you shouldn't like your dad because they abandoned you or your mom or whatever. You talk that kind of shit and your kid is alienated from you and starts showing symptoms of that. The results of that are similar to consistent physical abuse or sexual abuse done to a kid. And we as a culture don't see that. Like, we think it's okay. We think that if you shit talk a dad or if a dad gets disenfranchised in some way, it's okay. And there's no way of building men up. And even men who enter into the system and don't know what they're doing, they go to their first court appearance or hearing or some sort of mediation and something gets put on paper and they fuck themselves financially or with visitation, they start off screwed. So they may eventually get custody, visitation, these types of things, but they're so disenfranchised because, I mean, look, man, the average or average custody case, guess depends on what state you're in, but 20 grand. Who has that right now? Like, who has 20?
He is not exaggerating, bro. So I said, if you get off paying 10,000, man, you got off. That's a good deal. This guy works in this world where he works with a bunch of other men who go through this sort of thing. And like you said, bro, $20,000 on average is what you're looking at going through the family court system. This is what you're looking at. This is what you're looking at. 20 grand. Fighting, spending money just so you could be involved in your child's life. And then society turns around and calls that same guy a deadbeat. You're a deadbeat because you didn't have the money fast enough. You didn't fight hard enough. You didn't fight long enough. Nah, it might be a deadbeat involved, but it might not be that parent. Maybe the other parents are deadbeat. There are people out here who use this system as a blunt instrument. They use the court system, the family law system, as a weapon. And we live in a country where we monetize this sort of behavior. We're going to monetize it. We're going to make it to where it's advantageous for you to keep someone's child away from them. And no one asked the kids how they feel about this. This manifests in so many different ways. You got kids, you might have a father who has multiple kids with different women. And the children are together doing their thing, brother and sister, and then one day the one of them gone and you can't even see him no more. So it's like, well, why can't I go see my sister? Why can't I go see my brother? You can't. You know, you just can't because one of the parents won't let you, or this parent can't go legally because there's paperwork and that kid's sitting there like, well, what did I do? And that kid's looking at a system and that kid sees what it's doing to the adults in their life. And they see it when the dark times come. They see it when, you know, things ain't right. They got to deal with it. They see the one parent starting to drink themselves to death or self-medicate some kind of way using whatever drug. The kids sit there and they watch it. And they grow up and they're like, man, all this over some money? All this so you can get some child support? Nah, I was all this because you could. You use this as a weapon to hurt us. And some people ain't gonna let that go. Right? Some people ain't gonna let that go. And you know, like, again, the people involved in the system, the people who work within this court system, which it shouldn't be a court, right? That's a farce. But the people who work in this court system, quote unquote, they see the injustice. They see how bad it is. And people do get hurt. Them grown-ups, them parents get hurt. Them kids get hurt. You know what I mean? Grandparents, aunties and cousins and them get hurt. Drama pop off. They see each other in the real world. And this is when the sins of the fathers passed on to the kids, the sins of the moms passed on to the kids. Because they out there, these kids are innocent. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But somebody see them, like, there you go, right there. Jump out the car and hurt that little boy because they want to hurt that mom or hurt that dad. Kid like, man, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I want to go see my sister. I want to go see my brother, but I can't even go over there. Now y'all jumping on me. Now my family coming over here, my cousins and stuff coming over here. Wow. Oh, man, looks like they shut me down. I don't know why. Man, they really don't want this message out here, bro. What policy did I violate? This hmm. Oh, it's back. We are back. All right. I don't know what that was, guys. I don't know what that was. I'm thinking because I'm showing a Fresh and Fit. Well, I was showing a Fresh and Fit video. Maybe they don't want that. Um. Wow. I. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. That's crazy. So, yeah, man. Yeah. I'm sitting here now, like, all right, do I want to try to show dudes other video? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show his other video. I guess it's 5 mistakes men make in custody, and I'm gonna see if this works. And if they shut this down, I'm not gonna tell any stories, right? I don't think that I've told some wild stories on this platform, bro. I don't know if it had anything to do with the story. I'm fairly certain that the algorithm, the AI, is all over my platform. Not just me, but manosphere stuff. Uh, it is what it is, bro. They're just on this. Um, but they will send me a message in the YouTube thing. They'll send me a message, and I'll see what the message says, and kind of go from there. I'll ask for some clarification, but with small platforms like this one, they don't get back to you, bro. They just don't get back to you. You can't get a human. I mean, there are people out there with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They'll have issues and they can't get a human on the phone. And they will have to use their platform and make videos just to get the humans to reach out to help them with their issue. So the thing with YouTube is, I mean, right now they don't have any real competition. But as you know, outlets and platforms like Rumble and other platforms come and become more viable, I think that I don't not that I think I know, uh, they'll become serious competition for YouTube, and then YouTube will calm down. Remember how YouTube used to be? Remember back in the day when you could see people doing all kind of craziness on here? I think it's going to go back to that once there's competition. But right now, I mean, YouTube has no real competition, so they can do what they want to do, and they still pay out the most, even though they're not paying out like they used to. There's still no one close to the payouts. On the monetary side as YouTube is. Like YouTube is big, but I'm thinking they did that because we were watching a FNF video. I think that's what it is. I think that they're going after them again. Um, it is what it is. The information was good, but hey, we got this video right here. 5 mistakes men make in child custody. Right. So I haven't watched this whole thing. This is like 9 minutes and 37 seconds. Let's kind of let's go through this. And the topic at hand is still, I think, a good topic. Men need to be prepared for the family court system. They need to be, family law is crazy and men need to be prepared for it. So let's look at some of these 5 common mistakes. Same guy that was on the other video we were watching. This is the guy, Steve. I forget his last name. But yeah, let's check this out.
Mistakes men make when entering into the family court system. And I want you to pay attention, because if we can avoid these mistakes and do some right things, you're going to get fair custody, fair alimony, fair child support, and you could quite possibly just dominate in the courtroom. The first mistake men make is they think that if they're a good dad, they're just automatically going to get something fair. They're going to get something like 50-50. The judge is going to see that, much like your mom or your dad or your family and friends agree that you're a great father. The courts are not going to see your case that way. And this is why you need to learn to speak the language of the courts. You need to start.
That right there is 100% correct. They don't care. Remember, this is a business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business with a B. This is a business. The family court system is a widget factory, and the people who come in there, mom and dads, are the widgets. As simple as that. Even when a judge wants to help, the process is so convoluted and so strained they can't. I remember once sitting in court. I was just sitting in because this guy's talking about going to actually watch judges in family court and see how the judges kind of act and how they kind of rule, right? This is why I wanted to talk about this dude, because I did that on my own. I realized that early on because I knew from my background in the streets when Uncle Saint may or may not have, had run-ins with the law. I would go into arraignment court and just watch the judges. If I had a few hours, I'll go into arraignment court, watch the judges, listen to the arraignments, listen to what people are doing, seeing who's in there. I'll be seeing folks I ain't seen in a while. I'm like, oh, they go like they go they go legs right there. They go Day-Day and them right there. I ain't seen Day-Day in 2 months. I ain't even been locked up for 2 months, waiting on arraignment. Sitting there like, oh, I'm sitting there, and the judges are different. All judges are different. And lawyers know this. So when he said, yeah, it's a good idea to go in and you know what court you're assigned, go and watch that judge, right? So I'm in there, I'm watching the judge. I'm sitting there, I'm just watching the judge. This guy's old man. And he was in there trying to get custody of his child. This older dude, he was, a naturalized citizen, so he wasn't born in America. Like, he immigrated to America. He had been going through this system, it sounded like, for a couple years. The mom involved was locked up and didn't have any custody. And what he was trying to do was he was trying to get custody of his son to get him out of a situation that the son was in. He was like in group homes and stuff like that. And he's trying to get his son out of this process. And the man didn't have any money left. And, he was losing money just by being in court. The man came to tears. The judge was trying to help him. The judge said, hey, I need you to go down to the second floor. We're going to write you this, we're going to give you this document. Give this document to the people on the second floor. They're not going to charge you anything. They're going to help you file the papers you need so you can come before me and I can hear your case and rule on this case. The judge was trying to help, but the guy was so frustrated. He's standing there crying. He's looking at everybody. And he was pleading with people, please, somebody help me. Somebody help me. The judge kept telling him, like, just take this piece of paper, go down to the second floor. The guy's like, I've been to the second floor. They don't help you on the second floor. I don't have any more money. This is going on. This is like 15 minutes. I don't care what kind of person you are, man. This right here was hard to watch. This poor man. This guy who didn't grow up in this system, he's simply trying to save his child who's caught up in this system, and he was at his wit's end. And the bailiff had to come over and escort the man out. And the bailiff felt bad for him. He came over there, LA County Sheriff came over there, put his arms around the guy and slowly walked the man out. The man's crying like a baby. He's crying like a baby, man. It finally broke him. I'm sitting there, I watched this man break. Been getting a process for a year plus. He finally broke right there in the courtroom. He finally broke. I'm sitting there watching it. Damn, that could be me. Right? Every dude in there. We was all looking back at each other. These dudes, damn, bro, that could be me. The system broke him, bro. And the judge was trying to help him. That same judge could have locked him up, could have found him in contempt and had the same bailiff take him away to jail if she wanted to. If she wanted to, she could have done that. She didn't, though. And she felt bad for the guy. She kept trying to tell him, I can't do anything for you. I need you to go down to the second floor, take this document, go down there, and they are going to help you. But he's like, I've been to the second floor, just crying. I sat back when I saw that, bro. Like, this is horrific. I'd rather be back on the battlefield, man. I'd rather be back on the streets and on the block. That made sense. This didn't even make sense to me, bro. This was early on for me. Going in, it's like one of the first few times, like I'm in there just to watch how the court thing go. So he's right, man. Men need to understand that they don't care about you being a good human. They don't care about you being a successful citizen. They don't care about you being a good dad. They don't care. You got to play their game the way they tell you to play it. You got to pay when they tell you to pay. If they tell you they're not going to make you pay, that's good. But you're going to have to go through the process. You're going to have to do it right. If you make one mistake, they're going to send you back to start. Right? That's that whole thing. Like, well, they do that to women too. Not really. Nah, not really. They don't. I've never seen it. I mean, like I said, I've been in court a lot. I've never seen a woman who fouled wrong, who's like pro se and fouled wrong. I've never seen the judge kick it back in her face and say, go start over again like they do the guys. I've never seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. Normally, when a woman comes in there, she filed the wrong paperwork or whatever, the judge is like, well, you here, let's go ahead and look at this. But they didn't say that to the old man. They tell the old man, you gotta go down to the second floor. You gotta start over again. Your paperwork wrong. Here you go, take this. We ain't gonna make you take this little piece of paper with you. We ain't gonna make you pay for it, but you gotta go back down there and start all over again. Man been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. The man broke right there. He broke. Just broke all the way down right there. Saw it. Looking at it like, man, that could be me. Is that gonna be me a year? I mean, I just got started. I've been in court over 5 years. Yeah, over 5 years. I can see somebody breaking like that. I was making 6 figures. I had more resources. That man didn't have nothing. Hardworking man. Everything he had, he lost. In this system. And everybody in the court and everybody involved in the system, they know how bad it is. And how many times they done seen men break like that? How many times? They know it's wrong. That bailiff was sitting there, man, so gentle with that man. Like, come on, sir. Let's get you downstairs, sir. Let's get you downstairs. That man crying. And YouTube don't want us to put this information out here. They're gonna block this. They're gonna block this stream. I'm just trying to help men and women, trying to help Americans. It hurts everybody. It doesn't hurt the women as much. It's not as painful for most women. Like I said, you're going to get denied. Like, oh, you filed the wrong paper. That's all, we're going to keep going anyway. Nah, the dude filed the same papers, the wrong papers. They're going, kick that out. You got to start over again. Go back downstairs, start over again. And we're not going to give you that magic piece of paper. You're going to have to cough that money up again. It costs a lot of money to make these filings, y'all. You're going to be coughing up like $1,500 to make the initial filings. And then you're going to have to come back and you be doing all these other filings like $200, $300, $400 for these filings. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, bro. They making some expensive widgets over there in the family court system. But let's continue.
Specifically learning what determines custody, what determines visitation, what determines alimony, child support, your property, and all these different things. And each one of those things needs to be argued specifically. You also need to understand that if you don't get this right, then you could start having more of the government, the state, and so on being involved in what you do as a parent, meaning CPS, social workers, guardian ad litems, and so on could get involved in the way that you parent. You want to get this right. The second thing is your ex is going to lie, and your ex is going to attack you in ways that you never even thought were possible, that he or she was capable of. Now, there's tons of reasons for this, but basically in a family court situation, the worst sides of people come out. This is where the personality disorders come to the surface, the narcissism, the Machiavellian thought, all these different things are going to just be huge. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you are not organized in your court case, if you don't understand how the law works, if you don't file motions correctly, if you don't organize evidence correctly, if you don't point out the right evidence, then everything is hearsay, meaning that her lie is going against your truth, or vice versa, or whatever the situation is. And
he ain't lying. When I was in California, I spent a lot of time in that court. I spent a lot of time on Hill Street downtown LA, and I spent a lot of time in Van Nuys, the court. A lot. Right? An insanely large amount of time. Right? And I bumped into a whole bunch of lawyers. One of the lawyers been around a long time. He was like, I was in there. He heard me on the phone complaining a little bit about, man, I can't believe like, they told these lies. It's this blatant lie, blah, blah, blah. I got the phone because I was in the elevator, phone cut off. And the attorney was like, you know what they call family court? They call it liar's court. I've been dealing with this for 23 years. Of course they're lying, bro. You're going to have to go get your documentation. This is a guy, we just quick elevator ride. He's like, you're going to have to get your documentation. You're going to have to prove what you need to prove. Good luck to you, son. He walked out the elevator. Everyone involved, they understand how messed up the system is. They understand it. It shouldn't be called court, bro. Right? It should not be called court. You shouldn't have a judge. You should have a caseworker, right? It's so many things, but the lying comes out, bro. It's lie after lie after lie. You'll have people putting lies in writing and bringing it in and putting it as part of the filings. You look at the filings, they make a filing, you get to respond to, you get to, do all this stuff. You battling back and forth via paper, via these thick files, man. These files get like that. Bro, my file, like if I go down there and get it right now, it's this big, bro. Bigger than a telephone book. Y'all kids don't know what telephone books are. It's this big, right? It's massive. You think the judge is reading every file and every piece of paper that goes into that? No, they are not. They can't do it. They can't do it when they're running 12 to 15 cases a day, 5 days a week. Right? Think about that, man. They can't do it. So the whole thing, like I said, if you go in there and you mess up from the beginning, all you did is put yourself in like a bottomless pit. And the rest of the time you spend in there, you just trying to crawl out from that one mistake you made at the beginning. And yeah, everybody's going to lie.
And if both parties are disorganized, or she's a little bit more organized than you get rattled, you start arguing back, you start saying that's a lie and that's not true, the judge is going to stop the case because order is not happening in that judge's courtroom. They're going to react upon safety, or what they think is safety, in your 10 to 15 minute hearing that you get in front of them. And because you didn't learn to organize that properly, you are going to get a reactive decision, meaning you have no rights. You have lost your rights at that point because you didn't understand how to organize your court case. And let's just go back to this really quick. They are going to lie. They are going to do evil things. You're going to feel bad as a man, and you're going to want to do the best for them. And you're going to say, man, I'm going to take the high road. Well, let me tell you something. The high road is hitting hard and doing the right thing legally, so they don't get you into more trouble, your family into more trouble. And even though you're breaking apart, you need to guide hard with the law to stop insanity from happening. Because although you can almost guarantee they're going to be out of control, being evil and all this different stuff, you need to stop them legally so it doesn't go any further, so that you could have a better future, your kids could have a better future, and things could be done fairly. Number 3.
Man, this guy's giving it the way it should be given. No did it. He's telling the truth. And this is the thing. Men don't understand this, man. They walk in and they think, oh, everything is going to be fair. This is a court. And this ain't like big boy court, bro. This ain't like, when you going into, the felony court system and all that. This ain't that system. It's not that system. Oh, hold on one second. My Alexa is going crazy. I thought it was my daughter talking to me. It's one of the computers. It's not what you're thinking. Right? And guys need to understand this. Y'all need to understand this. Women, y'all need to understand this too, but it's a little more forgiving for women. Guys, y'all need to understand this, bro. You find yourself, you getting served these papers, man. I'd rather get served. I'd rather have the detectives come knock on my door talking about there's a warrant for my arrest. Or they call me on the phone talking about you need to turn yourself in. I'd rather deal with that than deal with the family law system. At least the criminal court system, I understand. But this family law thing is not based in anything other than what they're doing. It's like they make it up as they go. You got people in there. I've seen people in family court prove that the other person committed perjury, prove that the other person's lawyer committed perjury. They made a statement and the guy came out and he proved that what they said was a lie. Here are the statements. This is what happened. Broke it all the way down within the system. When it was his turn to talk, he brought it as, presented the evidence. And the judge was like, oh, well, it looks like the petitioner got a little overzealous or something like that. The judge said something like that and moved on. I'm like, that is a felony. That is a felony. They're trying to lock a former president up for doing that. That's a felony. Ah, he's going, we ain't gonna worry about that. Meanwhile, this guy can't see his kids. Meanwhile, this guy doesn't get, he's sitting there trying to get some custody. He's proven that he's a good guy. He's proven everything he needed to prove. They're saying that he's a bad dude. He disproved everything that they said. Still couldn't get his kids. Judge didn't change nothing. That dude had to pay for that. He had to pay for those filings. He had to come in there, take time off of work to be there. He didn't have an attorney. If he had an attorney, would it have been different? I don't know, maybe, but he would have had to pay for that. Think about that, y'all. The system is so messed up. They just don't care. And you just have to go and keep fighting until you either get what you're after, which is, generally speaking, guys are just fighting to get 50-50 custody. They're just fighting to get access to their kids. So either you're going to be successful and get your kids half the time, or you're going to wind up like that old dude who was crushed by the system and was standing there crying and had to be walked out of the courtroom by the bailiff. Come on, sir, let's get you down to the second floor.
3, the longer you wait about any of this, the longer you delay, the longer you understand how the law works and start speaking the language of the law, meaning answering whatever you got served with, hiring lawyers, not hiring no lawyers, how to file stuff in court and get in front of the judge. The longer you wait for that, the more you avoid that, the worse things are going to get for you. Meaning, if you do not do any of these things and you just hope that it goes away and you put another day on it and you do not focus on how you need to talk to the courts, you're adding every single necessary ingredient so that you get screwed and have a tragedy in the courtroom. This is something that you absolutely do not want to do. You need to act now today, but act now today legally in the smart way, filing things right, preparing things in the way that a court is going to hear it so that you can make your arguments to get your rights and your freedom as a father or a mother or whoever is watching this. Number 4, what makes a deadbeat dad? Now,
before he gets into this, I'm going to let this one play all the way. Just what makes a deadbeat dad is number 4. I am not going to interrupt it. I wanted to go. I like the way he starts off. You are not a deadbeat dad. Society calls you a deadbeat dad. The family court system is full of dudes who are quote unquote deadbeat dads. These deadbeat dads are in here paying money, losing money, taking time off work, doing everything they can, jumping through these hoops, being run through the ringer just so they can have some time with their children. And then when these guys are about to the point where that old man, when they're about to just crumble, what do? They have to step away. Like, I just can't afford to do this anymore. They are forced to make probably the worst decision they've ever had to make in their life. Do I continue until this crushes me, or do I just walk away and wait for my son or daughter to come look for me? Our system forces grown-ups to make this decision. Do I choose my sanity, or do I run the risk of getting locked up or losing my sanity, or worse, by getting crushed in this system? Which means you might have to walk away from your own child. This is in America. We're supposed to care about families in America. All because you got a person who's able to utilize this system as a weapon. Most of the time, it's not even about money. A lot of times it's about money, but most of the time it's not about money. It's about power. It's about hurting the other person and using that child and the system to do it. That's how it is, y'all. That's what's out there. This is why it needs to change. But let's listen to what he has to say about you are not a deadbeat dad.
Now, the idea is a deadbeat dad is somebody who doesn't pay child support, doesn't see his kids, ignores them, is totally gone. They have made the willful choice to not be a father. And see, what's interesting is here in the United States and in most first world Western civilization, we have dads fighting to be fathers that can't be fathers. They get screwed over in the court system. They pay too high of child support that they can't manage. They get behind on it. They're alienated from their children because a woman has leveraged the court system to take away their rights. In addition to that, because they're completely disenfranchised, they don't feel like anybody's on their side. Everybody ignores them. People believe the myth of a deadbeat dad, they become broken men. They try and see their kids. They try and do their best to support their kids. They're giving money to a woman month after month while they're not able to actually have a real relationship with their kids because that relationship is prevented by the mother, whether that's lies she's telling the kids, involving the kids, using the kids as a middleman or a middle person to leverage some sort of idea. She's starting the kids in other activities and excluding the father. The list goes on and on and on. Because of that, that dad is more depressed around those children. He doesn't know how to relate with them. Those children may dislike him, hate him, have opinions about things that go against him. And probably one of the sickest things is women will start to involve a new father, say that this is the new dad, this is your dad, you call him dad, and you call your real dad you by name. This goes deep into parental alienation and all these different topics that we talk about on this channel. It's a horrible, sick thing, and we really need to stop it in our culture. The reality.
He ain't lying. He's not lying. It happens all the time. I've seen it. Most people have seen variants of it. And it's sad how it works. This is what we do in America. This is it. That shiny house on the hill. This is how we treat Americans. This is how we treat children. We allow people to use children as pawns. We allow this to happen. We monetize kids. It's evil. There's no other way to look at it. That's evil. Deadbeat dad. Because you're not there. And more likely than not, it's because you've been crushed. Devastated. You can't even get on your feet, can't figure this out. This is ridiculous. Gary Owens. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's a comedian, white comedian that's very successful in the black comic world. Let me see if I can find him. He shared his divorce and the custody thing. He talks about his children. He shares that on Club Shay Shay. And it's one of those one of the saddest stories I've ever heard. And he talks about how the game was played. I'm trying to find. I was trying to find a clip. I can't find any clip, but the interview was over an hour on Club Shay Shay. There's a clip out here. This clip is like 1 hour and 9 minutes. I think it was over 2 hours for the whole interview on Club Shay Shay. And this one here says Gary Owens hasn't seen kids in 3.5 years since divorce and welcomes twins. It's a nightmare. So he was talking about how he started a whole nother family, but he's still trying to, get his kids in his life, which is 2 biological kids and 1 kid that he raised that wasn't even his biological. And then the divorce came and the separation came and the family court system hit. And it's to the point it's grown kids in college. They won't even talk to him. They won't even talk to him. Right? What did he do wrong? He raised them right. He did everything he was supposed to do. What did he do wrong? Right? You won't even talk to him. These are the things that guys need to think about, bro. You need to think about this stuff. Now, we talk about the horror stories. I don't know what the breakdown is, but there are a lot of couples who were able to co-parent and get through it, and they make it work for their kids. They put the kids first. My buddy Ty Barnett said that to me a long time ago. Ty was like, you tell how a real parent, a real grown up, they'll put the children first and they'll do whatever it takes to make sure those kids are taken care of. That means co-parenting. That means whatever it means. They're going to put them kids first. It's like you got so many people out here who don't care. They're so selfish and so evil that they don't even care about the kid. They just want to hurt the other person. And when Ty told me that, I'm like, bro, you a wise dude, man. And he's right. You can tell.
The of the matter is there are far, far less deadbeat dads than our culture is saying there is. They're actually dads. They're heroes. They're amazing guys who've had some of the worst pain put upon them. And even though their kids are trained to hate them, they keep walking forward. And number 5, there are people that can help, and you need to know this. But just like any industry, it's polluted with a lot of different crap. Now, what I mean by this is there are resources and tools for men and women to be able to get the information that they need in order to be a parent in their child's life, to be a parent in their child's life when parental alienation is happening. Now, this is part legal, this is part mental, this is a long road, and it's very, very hard, and it's complicated, and you're going to hit walls one after another. Now, one of my problems with this is I have really coached men for 18 years, every single day of those 18 years, and for 8 to 16 hours every single day of those 18 years, in every single one of men's problems in our modern world. That's PTSD, addiction, suicidal thinking, dating, sex, sexual dysfunction, and of course, divorce and custody. I've also suffered many of those things and walked with many men on that. This is all I do. When I see different fathers' rights movements or different people talking about that, a lot of it is false motivation or an anger that is towards feminism and women. And whether those things may be the cause of why these laws are made, that's not how we change laws. It's also not how a man individually gets through the pain of divorce and custody. Now, these things are overwhelmingly frustrating. I totally get it. Women exploit the law. Women exploit abuse, child abuse, sexual abuse.
So he's going into a whole bunch of stuff, man. People exploit the law. People do exploit the law. And it, you know, I've seen it on both sides. It's just, you see this happen with women making claims against dudes because women plan and men react. Shout out to my buddy Perry Davis Jr. That's how it works. Women plan, men react. Men need to start planning. Do more planning and less reacting. And, you know, we all need to come together locally and change some laws. You know, like, again, custody, a lot of the heartache is over custody, right? So custody should be 50-50. That should be default. No judge should be able to do anything other than that. It should be default when you walk in there, 50-50 custody. Now, that's the case in Florida. There's probably a couple other states to do that, but you just need more and more states to adopt that, right? Texas has caps on child support. I didn't know that. Texas has caps on child support. I think the cap is around $1,800 or something. Let's look it up real quick. I think it's around $1,800 for the child support cap in the state of Texas. So basically what they do is the max income that they'll use on their calculator is like $8,900 or some change or whatever, right? California doesn't do that. Florida doesn't do that. New York doesn't do that. Let me find this child support. CHILD cap, Texas. So here it is. Yeah, it says that Texas has a cap on the monthly net resources considered for child support calculations currently set at $9,200 a month. That's it. That's the max, which means no matter how much the non-custodial parent earns over this amount, the child support calculation would only consider up to that amount. So what does that boil down to? That boils down to around $1,800. Right, and then increase. It was at $8,550. It went up to $9,200 in Texas. Then you pull out the calculator, so it's going to be like less than $2,000. It's going to be like $1,900 a month is the max you can pay in child support in Texas. The max. You got people out here paying way more than that. Is that right? Is that right? You have to pull up your calculator. It might the max might be $2,100. I don't think it's that much, to be honest with you. You just have to do the calculation. So here it is right here. It looks like $1,840 per month with one child, 20%. Okay, yeah. So you're looking at the max child support payout to a non-custodial parent, from a non-custodial parent to the custodial parent, which means 0% custody. You don't see the child at all. You're looking at $1,840 a month. That's the max payout. Right. So that's a law that Texas put on the books. That'll eliminate a lot of the whole non-custodial stuff. You're gonna have the other parent like, well, no, I want my child to be with dad or mom or whatever. That's gonna take that away. The incentive, you know, the child is no longer monetized when you know there's a max. Here's a max. So yeah, dad makes $300,000 a month. So what? The max is what, 1,900 or whatever it is. That's it. That's the most they can count on as far as his income, which means he's gonna be paying $1,900 in child support, which means it's gonna force the non-custodial parent to work with and co-parent with the I said that backwards. It's gonna force the custodial parent to work with the non-custodial parent if they're gonna want financial help above and beyond the basic child support. It's gonna force them to co-parent. I think that's a good idea. So maybe you work wherever state you in and try to usher those laws into your state. Let's put caps. Let's make it default 50-50. Let's do mandatory DNA testing for people who aren't married. Right? It's going to take local level ground roots work to make these changes to the family law system, because the family law system ain't going to change itself. Too much money involved, y'all. Too much money. Billions and billions of dollars are on the line. These people want to keep making money as long as they can. Take the money out of the family court system and all the lawyers go away. All the judges go away. They're going to want to judge somewhere else. All that other stuff goes away. For right or wrong, for good or bad, it goes away. So that's all I got for today, y'all. Just food for thought. We're definitely going to be talking more about the whole family court thing. We're definitely going to be talking about it. Sorry that YouTube shut the stream down for a little bit. That was weird. I'll let you guys know. I'm going to wait for the information that YouTube sends me. I'll let you guys know what they said. I really think it's because of the F&F content that we were looking at. I think that's what triggered it. I think that's what it is. Either that or they're really watching my content and they just don't like what I'm doing. I'm not big enough to garner that type of attention, y'all. I mean, we ain't even got 2,000 subscribers, right? But they did take that 150 away from us. We got it back. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up, man. Brother Pitney, you're right, man. I'm going to have to look into that, man. Use some sort of semi-transparent video overlay. I'm going to have to look into that, man. I've been just really working on just getting to the end, bro. And like, it's just me and you in here now, man. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to you for hanging in there to the end, man. Darn, that's the end. We got at least, it shows there's two of us in here. Maybe there's one other person watching it in the wings. But I don't know, man. Maybe there is a shadow ban thing, and maybe this platform is being shadow banned. I don't know. But we're going to keep pushing forward, doing what we're doing. Casual Germans here. There it is. I knew somebody else was in here. What's good, fam? Appreciate you, bro. We just going to keep doing it, man. We're going to chop this one up into shorts, man, because we need to do something about the family law system. It is absolutely decimating America. It is destroying what's left of those who want to have families. And that is the foundation of our society here in America. And people are sitting around like, I wonder why no one wants to get married. Well, I give you a whole bunch of reasons why. So you're right, brother. We're done. This is the end. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me, man, rocking out. Sorry about it being blurry at first, and then YouTube shut us down for a minute, but we powered through it like we always do. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back early tomorrow because we have to do something after school tomorrow. So I'm going to be back early. I'm going to do an early stream, and then I might come and do a later stream after my daughter and I get back. But until then, man, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Y'all know what it is. I'm DL Saint. This is That I Really Want to Know podcast. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.